pan chicken mac and cheese. Now to get things going, I'm going to turn things over to my husband and wonderful cameraman, James, and he's going to handle things from here. So first step is I have some cut up chicken breast in the fridge already. I'm going to take it out and add some spices to it. We're going to use a little garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika, as well as some salt and pepper. I've also got the oven preheating right now for some roasted green beans that I'm going to do with fresh garlic and chipotle powder. Nice, easy, and simple. If I can remember the salt and pepper, that is. Still adjusting to the new kitchen. I feel like I need to make some changes. Almost perfect, but I feel like my spices aren't where I need them to be, and I think I'm going to end up adding a big spice rack to the back of the door if necessary, just to give me something to work with, because having them all locked up like this, it's a zoo in here. Everything there is almost everything you'd find in a restaurant, and now I've got to sift through to find things, so a little inconvenient, but I'm making it work for now. Anyway, chicken's all nice and seasoned up, and the oven is almost preheated to where I want it for the green beans, so I'm going to let the chicken sit for a minute and get the green beans going. So, glove, because I really don't want oil on my hands. These are fresh from the local Amish farm. I picked them up the other day, washed them, snapped them, and threw them in the fridge. So we're just going to pour about half of them out. Save the other half for another dish because it's just hubby and I, so, you know. And I'll grab a little olive oil, a little chipotle powder, and some salt and black pepper. And a little bit of fresh garlic, which means a lot in my kitchen. If you've watched me for a while, you know that. Don't feel like crushing it myself tonight. Jar always works. And the oven is fully preheated. I love that my new oven sings a little song when I turn it on and when it's to temperature. It's great. Half my appliances now sing to me. And still no dishwasher and still no word from Lowe's about it. The salesman, when we bought it with the stove, said that we'd get everything the same day. Now I'm just sitting in limbo, and my hands really, really hurt from all the dishes. It's getting pretty sickening. But anyway, tomorrow we will actually have our living room furniture, which is really nice. Finally put away the card table chairs. So now that the green beans are tossed in the garlic and chipotle and olive oil, I'm just going to spread them out so they're not stacked on each other and throw them in a 365-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Again, I'm still learning the new oven. I have noticed there is a time difference from electric to gas. It seems to take a little bit longer in the electric stove. So I'm still learning all of that nonsense. But anyway, I'm going to throw these into the top portion of my oven and let them do their thing. While that's going on, I'm going to turn on the burner and start the chicken. So the first step here is to get the chicken cooked on all sides, and then I'm going to remove it from the pan so I can get the pasta going before adding the chicken back in. Little olive oil. Oh, did I go to the wrong? Yep, I did. Bear with me. Still learning. I went to the large burner. I wanted the one on the inside. This has so many burners, and I'm thankful for that because I do a lot of cooking, but it's so much learning involved, and for some reason, the idiots that delivered it that day and decided to take out my neighbor's power line, they were total jerks the whole time. They were laughing about it, and then when I finally got my stove, I don't have an instruction manual. Now, I realize everything is tech these days, but there's not even a QR code on it. So I've been Googling various things. Like just today, I found out about my air fryer setting and the fact that apparently I can connect this stove to Wi-Fi and preheat it from my cell phone. Totally new to me, but without an instruction book, I am just at a total loss here. So it's all learn as we go now. Anyway, that's going to take a couple minutes to heat up. So in the meantime, other ingredients we're going to use. This 2 cups of water here, I'm going to add some chicken better than bouillon to, because you need 2 cups of chicken broth, although you can use water. We're also going to use 2 cups of penne pasta and about a half a cup of milk. So yeah, I guess I can measure out the pasta while I'm waiting for everything and get the better than bouillon mixed in. Everything's still a bit of chaos. I'm just putting things where I think I want them to go at this point. Thankful these are collapsible. They take up less space. Anywho. Yeah. See, I miss my fire. I love this stove. It is beautiful. And hubby was the one that picked it out, actually. When we found out the stove wasn't functioning, I just figured, hey, we're spending money left and right now with the new house. I'll take whatever. He was the one that picked out the double oven, which he knew I always wanted. So props to him. Toss this bag. You really don't need to film me tossing the bag, but whatever works for you, babe. You're a jackass. Anyway, just gonna let the chicken cook up as soon as this pan comes to full temperature here. But at least it's in the pan now, so it's out of my way. Anywho, other spices that are going to go into the chicken mac and cheese are dried mustard, a little nutmeg, and some more garlic and onion powder, and a little pinch of paprika. Just to give it a good flavor. It's better than bouillon. Just hiding somewhere in this fridge. Aha! Chicken better than bouillon. When you don't feel like opening up a full container of chicken stock because you don't need 4 cups. Then you wrestle it open. Should have seen me earlier. I've spent the last 3 days, if you remember from the first live video, trying to open my garlic powder, and I ended up having to use fresh garlic. I handed it to my husband, and even he had trouble with it before finally getting it open. I appreciate the safety seals and all, but can we make it so that humans can open these too? All right, we'll let the better than bouillon mix in with the water, and the chicken is starting to sizzle. That's a good sign. Yum. This smells good already. Sticking to the tongs. Ah. I love these, except for when I'm trying to turn meat. It always seems to be a bit of a disaster. But it's working. So once this is cooked up on all sides, I'm just going to temporarily remove it from the pan so that I can add some fresh garlic and then the chicken stock, pasta, milk, and then put the chicken back in with the seasonings and let everything cook up. And my oven is smoking. I'm glad I have the vent on. First time I've turned it up over 350, so I guess it's still cooking off some of the chemical they use on the oven racks, which, whoops, I did wash some of. Glad my stove's clean. Toss that out of the way. The other day, when I was first testing out the oven before I started recording, I didn't know about all these new smoke detectors. I just thought it was all still the same beep, beep, beep. And then I test out the lower oven, and this bitch up here above my head starts screaming, fire, fire. So I open up the front door, I'm waving a towel, I'm yelling to the neighbor, there's no fire, there's no fire. It was horrible. It was a terrible experience. All right, I'm going to temporarily shut this off so I can get the chicken out of the pan. I'm just going to chuck it onto a paper plate because there is no reason to dirty another dish. Just one more thing to wash. Anybody out there watching? You got any peoples? Yeah? Cool. So if you're just tuning in, this chicken is just seasoned with some paprika, onion, and garlic powder, a little salt and pepper. Nothing fancy. Just a simple, easy meal. Now, what I'm making is for 2 people, but it can easily be adjusted for 4, 6, 8, whatever you got. All right, so put the chicken over here for now. And I'm going to add the chicken stock to the pan and turn it back on. Let the better than bouillon dissolve. And I'm going to add half a cup of milk and 2 cups of noodles. And then some seasonings, and then the chicken back to it. So I'm using penne, but obviously pretty much any pasta would work. I wouldn't use anything like ditalini just because it's not going to survive how long it'll take to cook everything else. But other than that, you can pretty much do what you want. And you don't have to use whole milk. This is a dietary choice in my house. Obviously, you can use low fat, or you can just flat out use water. Use enough seasoning, you won't even notice. And I put my corn in the way of putting my green beans back. So now they're kind of going to do the stack thing for a minute. Give that a quick stir. All right, now to that, I'm going to add a pinch of nutmeg. I know it's a bit more than a pinch. Hey, I'm a Portuguese. You ever been pinched by a Portuguese woman? Little garlic powder, little onion. Everything needs flavor. It's very important. Mustard. And you don't have to use these spices. If there's anything here that you don't like, just swap it for something else. You really can't screw this up. It's super easy. And a little smoked paprika. Also going to add just a pinch of the fresh garlic because I love garlic. Just a fact. All right. Making a mess all over my stove, but I clean it every day, so no worries there. All right. Now, just going to wait for this to come up to a boil, and then I'm going to add the chicken back in and turn it down. Once the pasta is al dente, I will add some shredded cheddar cheese. I think I'm using a triple cheddar tonight, but I'm not positive until I actually check the cheese drawer. And yes, I have a cheese drawer. I'm a bit of a junkie when it comes to the dairy products. All right. Okay, and I got more smoke coming from the green beans. I think maybe I should take a peek at them, and let's hope that the smoke detector doesn't go off. All right, yeah, those need to be moved a little bit. Time to flip them around, I guess. So. Don't mind my pot holders. These are my favorite pot holders. They don't make them anymore, and every other one I've tried, I can feel the oven heat, so I just keep sewing them up but they're getting to the point where I'm going to have to stop. I've bought a few new pairs recently. I'm hoping one of them works for me because clearly these are on their last legs. Any of you out there that cook, you know, you've got your favorite items that you literally use until they are screaming for you to throw them in the garbage, and you still don't. All right. Yeah, they just needed to be turned around. Eventually, the new stove will stop doing that, I'm sure, but in the meantime, I got to cook off all the new stove smell, so to speak. Well, there's no odor in the kitchen. It's just the little bit of smoke from the oil and seasoning on the green beans. Most likely because of the fresh garlic. But anyway, this is already starting to come to a nice light boil, so I'm going to add the chicken back into it. Yum, 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 yum. All right, so the chicken will finish cooking in the sauce with the pasta while the pasta cooks. And you can just pour all your chicken juices, whatever built up on the plate, right back in there with it. Ah, pastas. Oh, by the way, check out my new steak knives. I finally, now that we have a house, I bought a decent silverware set, and these were the steak knives that came with it. I've never had actual steak knives aside from what's in my knife block, so this is pretty cool. Now I can save my actual knives for cooking and vegetable peeling. Just want to move this occasionally, give it a stir just because of the milk that's in it. You can also cover it if you're feeling daring, but you do run the risk of curdling your milk. I don't like curdled milk, so I don't cover it. Anyway, I need a sip of my beverage, so I'm going to walk. Yeah, all the way to the folding chairs. So we got our delivery window for tomorrow for our living room furniture. It's, I believe, between 3:45 and 6:45. So yeah, at least we're going to have it by the end of the day, but wow. So there may not be a Hobbit Kitchen live tomorrow night just because I could be dealing with furniture people at any point during that time frame. But there will be a short put up of whatever I do make for dinner in the Hobbit Kitchen, and I'll be in the Shire garden in the morning. And take a look at this beautiful pasta. Let me just turn this down now that it's rolling boil. I wish there was some sort of way that you could smell this because it really smells fragrant and delicious. What do you think, honey? Yeah. Yum. Anytime I can make a one-pan dish and have just less to clean up and an easier, quick filling meal, I'm all for it. This is much easier than playing how much can I do. And if you noticed with the green beans, I lined the pan with foil. I just don't want one more dish. It's too much. Way too much. So how's it feel to be a cameraman, sweetie?
Oh yeah, that holding the pole.
Hey, at least my husband's a good sport. Let's hope he's a good sport when harvest time comes for the garden and I have him out there holding baskets. Beautiful. Everything should be done at about the same time as far as the pasta and the green beans go. Hi, Richard. How you doing? I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, Western Massachusetts, just cooking up a nice meal. I always wish pasta would cook faster. It is nice to have a vent above the stove now. At least the fumes from the oil are going out instead of collecting in the kitchen. I spent a good decade just breathing them in because while we were renting, we did not have the best landlords, and little things like oven vents just weren't a priority for them. So, it's been weird. It's been weird to come into the kitchen and remember, oh yeah, press a button, turn this on, you have this. Like my husband reminded me 2 nights ago, you do have a light above your stove, and I went, oh really? I do? So obviously I'm using it right now, but yeah, first couple of days I didn't even register that it was there, so I wasn't using it. But now I am. All right. Nothing to do now but wait for that and peek at the green beans, which are actually looking pretty good. So, obviously, a portion of my counter is currently being taken up by dishes, so I'm just kind of playing Tetris and putting something on the counter for the pan. And moving the bitch in the box out of the way. All right. Anybody out there actually has a good potholder brand that they can recommend? Here's the green beans. Please let me know, because I'm about to try, these were actually old Rachel Ray's. And the new set I bought is Cuisinart, but I haven't tried them yet. Ooh. Oh, they're all sizzly and yummy. Yeah, it was just the garlic. I shouldn't have added the fresh garlic so soon. So if you do this recipe, don't do what I did, because when I do this in a gas stove, the garlic doesn't actually burn up this quickly, but I guess all that smoke was coming from the garlic. No big deal. I like a little charred garlic, but I don't like the smoke. And it even sings when you shut it off. Gotta love that. I'm just going to give the pasta another stir here. Looks like we've got maybe another 5 minutes or so before this is close to done. At that point, I'll add the cheese and possibly a little bit of butter. You can literally just aim it at the pan for a moment if you want. Here, you watch this cook. Yeah, thanks for the heads up, actually. I salted the chicken and everything, but I couldn't remember if I had salted the pasta, so thank you. I do appreciate that. A little pepper, too. Who was that? Let's see. Make what spicy? The chicken pasta? Because the green beans I did make spicy. They're garlic chipotle. And thank you for saying it looks yummy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the street that we moved to is a private road. Including our house, there are only 4 other houses. And if you watch South Park, if you've ever watched South Park before they went all woke and ridiculous, you know about Kenny and his parents and their house. Well, one of our new neighbors, the only one on the street that rents, literally seems to live like Mrs. McCormick. Now, I'm not judging. I've only met her for 5 minutes, and she didn't really care to know the fact that people had bought the house next to her. But upon walking by her yard on our way down to the lake the other day with a friend who came out to see the new house, we noticed the massive amounts of garbage and Gatorade bottles, soda bottles, different things scattered throughout the yard. So my husband has nicknamed her Mrs. McCormick. Yeah. So I don't know if any of you out there have a neighbor like that, but every other person on our new street is very nice, very normal. My closest neighbor on the other side actually has most of the same vegetables growing in her garden, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, aside from that, we've got tons of wildlife out here. I've been filming off and on throughout the day. I found out that we have goldfinches, we have mourning doves. We've got more exotic birds than I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not new to being in the wilderness. So, it's been different. And let's see where we're at. Yeah, they're still too hard. Pasta, not done. No, 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 no. Oh, there she goes again. Must be something going on out there. I am hungry. I cannot wait till this is done.
Starving.
Let's see just how long this pasta has left to go. I have a feeling I might end up needing a touch more liquid, but right now I need a fork. Tiny little fork. It is so cute. Yeah, that is definitely not cooked enough. Maybe about 3 minutes away from adding the cheese. In the meantime, I'll just throw all these spices back in the cabinet of madness. And I'm not really sure what it is that I'm going to make tomorrow. If you have any thoughts, I'm leaning towards either a meatball ragu stew, which is meatballs and rainbow potatoes, carrots, onions, or a lasagna. So, if you have any thoughts, please feel free to tell me. And that includes you, honey, obviously, if you have an opinion.
I eat whatever.
Yes, I know.
I'm not picky.
No, that is a good thing. It is great to be married to someone that is not a picky eater. Just very inconvenient to have picky eaters around.
You're so short next to your stove.
I am short. I am exactly... All right. The Hobbit chef is going to take off her slippers now and show you her actual height. I am exactly 60 inches or 5 feet tall. That's it. If I shrink any more, because according to the registry, I was 5'2" when I first got my driver's license, but now I'm 5 feet. If I shrink much more, they're not going to let me on the amusement park rides, and then I'm going to be really upset. And then I'm going to have to spend the entire time at an amusement park stuffing my grandson full of junk food and then giving him back to his parents. Because that will be all that is left to do is eat and shop. Anyway, this is about ready for the cheese. So, I go in the fridge and grab what I think is triple cheddar. Yep. Yeah, bag of triple cheddar I opened the other day, so we're just gonna throw a bunch of this in here. Go with about 1.5 cups. And that's it. I mean, it just all comes together, all the cheese melts, and you've got a nice, easy, one-pan chicken mac and cheese. Shut that off, actually. Now it's time to plate.
Plate to face.
Yes, soon it will be farm to table, plate to face. Right now it's just kind of plate to face, but all right. I'm going to get some plates because it is definitely that time. Doesn't this look just scrumptious? Hi, JK. Thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying. This is a one-pan chicken mac and cheese and some chipotle green beans that I oven roasted with a little olive oil, chipotle powder, and garlic. And it is food time.
Yay.
Yes. Hubby is very excited. He worked hard all day and he is very hungry. And he came home and I gave him the honey-do list followed by, hey, could you be my cameraman? And he was a real good sport about it and said yes.
It does look fantastic.
Thank you. Put you some mac and then I'll put you some green beans and you can go to town. And then I will say goodnight to the people. All right, time for the beans. Oh, those are. This is the one.
Achula.
I love all of the produce I've been getting from our local Amish farm. They have the freshest, just everything. It's been wonderful. Next week when I go, because I already had eggs in the house, but as soon as I'm out of eggs, I'm going to buy some eggs from them because they have fresh eggs and it sounds really good to me. Anyway, here is the finished, completed dish. Hi, Richard. I hope you're having a nice evening. And that's it. Nice, easy, 30 minutes or less. And it could feed a family if you doubled or tripled the recipe. That's all for tonight from the Hobbit kitchen. Oh, got the last box in the kitchen in my way. The kitchen table doesn't arrive for another week and a half. Anyway, I hope you all have a great night. And I'll be back tomorrow with a dinner short because I can't go live while having furniture delivered. Have a great night, everyone.